Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. We're live here in Palm Springs Stadium for the final morning of regular season games here in the Power Summer Collegiate League. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Nash Walker, as the A's are set to take on the Colonials. And frankly, Nash, even though both teams are in much different spots in the standings, it's a big game all the way around. The A's are trying to hold on to the number one seed. They come into today at 12-3. Lumberjacks and Blue Sox right behind, both at 11-4. The Colonials come in today as the 12th seed at 4-9-2, and they have four different teams all the way around them trying to stay away from those 12 and 13 seeds, because then they have to play a playing game.
More than one reason why the A's are in first place, Evan, but they've given up a league low 40 runs this year, and the Colonials have scored 55. That's the second fewest in the league. So watching that today, that matchup between A's pitching, Colonials offense.
So Braxton Riley, Christopher Perez, Billy Ham, the first three scheduled hitters, a ball and one strike the count.
As a team, the A's with a 2.71 team ERA. Opponents are hitting just 2.13 against them on the season. It's really been the case since day one.
So that ball is hit out to right center field, and it's going to get down towards the gap. Taking a turn going to second is Riley. He's going for third. My goodness. Throw down to third, and it's going to be late. Woo, aggressive base running. Braxton Riley is in the third base with a leadoff triple. Wow, what a loud way to get us started, Nash.
The A's have also run the bases very well, Evan, and we always talk about their stolen base numbers. Riley, you see there aggressively getting to third base. On the season, this team is 55 for 63 in stolen base attempts.
Jared Allen on the mound for the Colonials. He's gone 17 and third innings so far this year. 13 strikeouts. Walks to be a factor, 24 walks given up this year, 24 hits. Here in the regular season finale, all the way around, and taking strike one is Christopher Perez.
A's as a team hitting 280, 423 on base percentage, OPS at 795. That's above the league average.
That's in the dirt, 1-1. Perez hitting 350 this year. One double, 7 RBIs, 5 walks. OPS just south of 900.
League OPS this year 770, and as a whole, the league is hitting 279.
Whoa, look out!
Man.
Ball's way up and in, and that got Perez.
I think that hit him in the helmet.
Well, it looks to be okay as he'll go take his base, although it could have possibly been a lot worse. So we'll put men on first and third with nobody out. Triple and a hit batter.
Colonials as a staff, a 6.22 ERA, about league average. Lower opponent batting average than the PSCL as a whole. But the walk numbers are high. They lead the league in walks. They've given 90 free passes this year, plus 9 hit batters.
Yup, that's been a factor all the way around. It's taking ball one is Billy Ham.
Now, I will say the bootleggers have hit 28 batters and walked 83.
They must not like the opponents that much, Nash. That ball's hit out to center field. It's pretty well hit. It chases Deshaun Thomas back towards the wall. It's going to one-hop the wall. Riley will coast home. Perez, he was running on the play, and he'll hold up at third base. A ringing double from Billy Ham. A really nice job from Deshaun Thomas to get that ball in quickly. It holds Perez over
hard
third.
Hit balls. Perez had to hold up, but I think if you read that, it was clear Thomas wasn't going to make that catch. Man, some hard hit balls, the triple, the double. Still nobody out.
Yeah, that ball really traveled, Nash. One off the wall out there.
Thought for a second it
400
might
feet
get out of here.
So I'll bring up Jack Hagan. He swings the first pitch. That ball's through the hole in the left side for a base hit. Perez crosses the plate. Billy Ham will score a mistake in left field. A 2-run RBI single for Jack Hagan. And just like that, it is 3-0 A's right out of the gate. Boy, did they come out swinging. Aggressive early are the A's. Already 3 hits here in the first with nobody out. And it looks like Brant Cook is going to run for the catcher Hagan over at first base. Cook leads the league in stolen bases by a wide margin at 18. Next closest man is Jamal Ritter at 11.
That's quite the luxury. You can go as a courtesy runner to Brant Cook on your bench.
You know that Don Bray and the A's love to run. First pitch hit foul. A's led the league in stolen bases as a team for most of the year by a wide margin. And then the Snowbirds had some ideas. They passed them for a moment. The A's momentarily passed them back. And it could be a little bit of a battle to keep an eye on throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
There goes Cook. A pitch breaking ball, and it gets away from Downham. Going to third is Cook. Now he'll retreat on back. So a stolen base for Brant Cook, his 19th of the season.
Unreal.
He was running on the pitch.
He's going to try to get up over 20 today. In the last day of the regular season, Evan.
Oh my goodness, to say the least. So a ball and 2 strikes to Jack Moulin. So he did go around on that pitch in the dirt. 1-2, hit foul at home plate. Moulin hitting .318 this season. Couple doubles, 3 RBIs. Chance for the A's to manufacture a 4th run this inning. 3 hits, a hit batter, and still nobody out. The 1-2, fastball, hit in the right field. It's hit hard. Over is Leo, and it'll drop in foul territory. Good effort from Stephen Leo. Just not able to corral it.
This is exactly the start you're looking for the A's, trying to finish their season with a 13-3 record and to control their own destiny in the playoffs as the 1 seed. Huge advantage there, Evan, to be the 1 seed in this playoff bracket.
There's no doubt about it. Especially just to get that last at bat. That 1-2 is hit hard in the right field. It's going to get in there for a base hit. Cook had to hold up initially, and now they're going to wave him around. A mistake in right field, and Cook will cross the plate to score. No RBI on the play for Moulin. They were going to hold Brant Cook up, but a mistake in the outfield from Stephen Leo led manager Don Bray to give the wave around.
So triple hit batter, double single to start this ball game for the A's. Can't draw it up any better.
And not a bad pitch by any means from Allen. It's a breaking ball away. Just Moulin didn't try to do too much with it. So that brings up Caleb Skull, the designated hitter. The man over at first base, still nobody out. First pitch, swing and a miss. Set, here's the 0-1. That ball's hit well. Down left field line towards the corner. That's going to be a fair ball. It's going to go all the way to the wall. Mueller was running on the pitch. He'll coast on home. And pulling in the second is Skull with another double. This one into the left field corner.
Man, if the A's hit like this going into the playoffs, they're going to be extremely tough to beat. They already have the league's best pitching staff by the numbers.
Most of the year, the A's have been towards the bottom of the league as far as just hitting as a team goes, but they're not showing that today.
Yeah, they've gotten above average here down the stretch of this season, and now today, man, what a start. Man, just incredible.
So that'll bring Spencer Middleton to the plate. 7th man to bat this inning, still nobody out. Middleton hitting .250, 4 RBIs, 3 doubles. So he takes strike 1.
Usually when you see like a 5-spot in an inning, Evan, in the PSCL, there's a lot of walks, there's wild pitches, but this is just an onslaught of hits, hard-hit balls.
Cooper Browning keeping the runner close at second. The 0-1's up and in, 1-1. Here's the 1-1 from Allen. Ball's hit foul. 1-2. Nash, I made a mistake for a moment of just leaving my phone right in the sun. Almost overheated. Gotta let that guy cool down now. was trying to respond to a text from our analytic guy Hammer, but my phone's not going to let me for a moment. 1-2 the count. Still nobody out. Jared Allen dealing with Spencer Middleton. Skull over at second base. That's a little high. 2-2. So Levi Hall, Deshaun Thomas, Stephen Leo, the three outfielders, left, center, and right. Sean Garcia, Tyler Darnell, Cooper Browning, Sean Bastos going from third around the horn over the first. Jed down behind the plate, and of course Jared Allen on the mound for the Colonials. So that's in the dirt. 3-2. Good play from Downham. It's even my laptop, it's not in the sun. It's giving me little fits. Oh, I just turned the brightness up. That'll help. Technology's fun, ain't it? Here's the 3-2. That's it, foul straight back. So a complete full day of PSCL action. They're even going to use the high school field. So the North Stars are currently playing the Chill on the turf field. Of course, with the A's and Colonials right now, that's what you're watching. Coyotes and the Bombers will start at the high school field at 9:30. Blue Sox and the Green Dragons will be the late game on the turf field. And immediately after we're done over here, it'll be the Grizzly and the Snowbirds. And that'll do it for the regular season, Nash. Playoffs start tomorrow.
Unbelievable. It really moved on quickly. I remember our first couple days out here, Evan. Feels like yesterday. Also feels like a long time ago. We've played a lot of baseball.
You know, Nash, I remember you first walked into the intern room, and it was towards the end of the long week. First thing was, wow, this guy's got a lot of energy. I need a coffee, and I don't even drink coffee. That pitch is inside. It'll be ball 4. So Middleton draws a walk. First and second, still nobody out. So that brings up Ben Bryant. He was a late addition into the lineup. See, that's what men on first and second, nobody out. Bryant hitting an even 300, 1 double, 6 RBIs.
And still, nobody out.
So he takes ball 1. And Allen's been around the plate. The A's just hammering the ball. Foul ball, 1-1. Now, as we mentioned it a moment ago, now for a long time the A's were hitting only about 250 this season. They picked up the pace in about the past week and a half, up to 280.
If they can
Now,
put it together offensively, Evan,
yeah.
you line that up with a pitching staff, Bridger Holmes and Trevor Eby, they're just going to be super tough to beat in the playoffs. They can come at you in many different ways. You have the Lumberjacks. They have a great offense,
Yep.
but they can't match the A's pitching staff. So you
their
wonder.
pitching's still pretty good, though.
It is, yeah. Another good team.
The 1 to the Bryant. The runners go. He hits a foul. So the A's are now 8th in the league in batting average. They were around 10th for a lot of the season. But frankly, when you're top 2 in the league in stolen bases and when you pitch as well as you have, by far the best pitching staff based on the numbers, you can get some wins.
Well, here's how good the A's staff has been. They lead the league with a 2.71 ERA. Second place is the Blue Sox at 4.10.
Yep.
So almost a 2-run
I
difference.
think they also lead the league in strikeouts from a pitching staff.
Yep, 130. And that's 26 more than the second place Lumberjacks. The staff has been the best by far.
That's putting it lightly. And pitching's big. You know, Nash, it's interesting. Throughout the playoffs, I don't know how they're going to do it, but apparently the teams that move on are able to, quote-unquote, steal pitchers from the losing teams. Like, I don't know how that's going to work. It's just going to be, like, if you beat, you can only take the ones from a team that you beat, or if they're just going to try and divvy them up evenly.
Well, I almost think that's a disadvantage for a team like the A's because they already have very good pitchers, right? So if other teams can pick up pitchers, that's going to close that gap, and the A's lose a little bit of that advantage. Now, I would take Bridger Holmes and Trevor Eby 10 times out of 10 to start games 1 and 2 of a playoff, or to,
Yep.
piggyback with each other in a playoff game.
That's upstairs, 3-2 the count. Now load the base with nobody out. Fortunate there that Brian drew a walk. Skull started from second base, and then he ended up stopping. Middleton kept following, so if that were a strikeout, then there might have been a rundown, but not to be the case. So we have a meeting on the mound. Jackson Irwin will be the 9th man to come to the plate. Both teams batting 10 guys today. That's been the common practice, except the North Stars. They usually bat 11. Still nobody out. And frankly, just one day before the playoffs, even if, regardless of what the result is, Nash, I assume you need some innings out of Allen.
Absolutely, and it's going to be tough. One of the better first innings we've seen from an offense all season.
Even all the Lumberjack games I've seen, I don't think I've seen them put an inning up quite like this. That powerful lineup. So Jackson Irwin hitting .222, a couple doubles, 2 RBIs. Still nobody out, as that's up and in. Colonials will look to turn 2. They'll concede another run. Frankly, they just need outs. Try and move things along. Not tax their pitchers too much. Corners will play in. Try and get a force at home. That's on the outside corner, strike 1. I almost wonder if Will Campagna needs to throw some pitches. He's on the mound for the A's. He's been sitting for a long time. One and 2 the count to Irwin. Whoa, that's over his head. 2-2. Breaking ball just got away. So Scholes over at third, Middleton at second, Bryan at first. 5 runs on 5 hits for the A's.
Still nobody out.
Well, the A's have won 4 in a row coming into this. So that one's hit foul straight back. Talk about going to the playoffs hot. Lumberjacks and Blue Sox each lost their previous game. To allow the A's to come into today with sole possession of first place. Based on what Don told us, he was pretty confident that he would have had the tiebreakers, but still helps being in first place.
Yep, all alone. Oh,
Hard, past the diving, Garcia in for a base hit. Station to station go the A's, and it's 6-0. Crossing the plate is Skull. RBI single for Jackson Irwin, the 6th hit of the inning, and the 6th run for the A's. You talk about a beatdown, Nash.
Oh, I don't know if we've seen an inning like this, Evan.
No, we haven't. We've seen some big innings, but as you mentioned, there's only been
3.
1 hit batter.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me, a couple walks, and a hit batter, but just hits.
Mm-hmm.
So the A's have batted around here with nobody out. That ball's hit out to
Chance
second
at
base.
2.
Oh, he's going to be... And they are going to get the out call at second base. A break right there. Ball was bobbled by Browning. He's still elected to go to second base. And they got the out call. So Jackson Irwin is forced out at second finally for the first out, 4-3.
Middleton comes in to score, and it's a touchdown and an extra point here in the top of the first for the A's.
So Sebastian Moore reaches on a fielder's choice. And RBI for him, 7-0 is our score. Middleton crossed the plate. And Ben Bryan is on third. So first and third, nobody out. And that'll bring Braxton Riley up to the plate. He tripled into the right center field gap to lead us off. It's up and in again, 2-0. Nash, this is really something.
It is. Hard hit balls, too. These aren't bloopers.
No, not by any means.
These are hard hit.
That's way upstairs, 3-0. Nobody up in the Colonials bullpen either.
They're going to let him eat it, as they say. He's going to have to wear it.
Well, Nash, as far as the time is concerned, there's still an hour for you to go. They can't exactly rely on that right now. 3-0 the count. And it looks like Riley does take all the way. 3-1. Probably a courtesy take all the way. Already beating them up pretty good. At 3-1, it's out to left field.
Why
That'll
not?
drop in there for a base hit. So second hit of the inning for Braxton Riley. Crossing the plate is Brian. 8-0 A's. That's probably one of the few balls this inning not hit all that hard.
They were playing him back, I think, because he hit that ringing triple, and then he
Yep.
just says, "Oh, I'll bloop it in front of you."
Mm-hmm.
They're gonna head back now for Perez as well, at least in left field and Levi Hall.
Perez was hit by a pitch earlier this inning. So still 1 out. Sebastian Moore. Yep, Sebastian Moore's at second. So that ball's hit through the hole on the right side for a base hit. Holding up at third is Moore, so the bases are loaded again with 1 out. Was
Well,
that the
folks,
9th hit of the inning?
Please keep in our thoughts and prayers our scorebooks.
That's the good part about this is at most we play 7 innings.
True. We might need those extra frames.
Yes, yes.
I got 12 frames. How many you got?
Oh, I have 9.
Ooh.
Your book is a little superior to mine.
Got a couple extra frames for innings just like this.
Oh, yes, yes.
Still only 1 out, bases juiced.
So I have this right now. So I have Sebastian Moore at third, Riley at second, and now Perez at first. Because that's a foul out of play by Billy Ham, who doubled to the left center field wall his first time up to drive home a couple.
This is a long, long inning for Jared Allen.
Here's the 0-1. Colonials would love a double play. Ham does not run well. He could be a double play candidate.
And as a pitcher, you've been out there for a long time. You're in the heat,
Yep.
getting hit hard. It's not a good feeling.
Way outside 2-1. And it looks like the Colonials are going to start to get something going in their bullpen.
Yeah, you just can't push.
Compagnon is going to throw a little bit in the A's bullpen. He's the scheduled starting pitcher. And that, I mean, Nash, he has his routine obviously getting warmed up, but he's been sitting for so long.
Yeah, I think they're understanding as well. There's only 1 out, so it could be a little bit.
Upstairs 3-1.
It's already been, 25 minutes.
That's a long inning.
For Allen, you can't push a pitcher 50, 60 pitches in an inning.
3-1. That ball's popped up. Foul out of play. 3-2. Pretty decent crowd for this early game here, Nash. Probably one of the better ones I've seen for a 9 a.m. PSCL game. Almost everyone's got their umbrellas. We have a roof over us. So 3-2 the count to Ham. It's a tough first inning. That pitch is fouled back off the top of the screen. It's coming your way, Nash.
I'm ready for it. Left hand.
Aren't you a... Yeah, weren't you a lefty when you were playing?
I swung left through right.
Oh, interesting.
Yep.
So 3-2 once again, Allen to Ham.
Ooh.
Swing and a miss, foul tipped in the glove of Downham. So the second out here in the first inning.
There you go. Good job by Allen.
That'll bring up the catcher, Hagan. Singled in a couple runs earlier this inning, then had Cook come on and run for him. 8-0 on 8 hits for the A's. This is definitely the biggest inning I've seen all season, Nash.
In terms of hits, yes. We saw a 7-run inning from the All-Stars last night.
Yes, yes. There was only 1 hit in that inning, too, and of course Jason Cropley, that missile out to center field. I don't think we had some of the flight scope stuff working last night. I would have been curious about the exit velocity. You don't see a lot of balls just hit on a line to center field like that.
And that ball was crushed.
Especially with a wood bat.
Oh.
That ball set out to left center field is pretty well hit. Over is Thomas, and it's going to drop in between the two of them. A couple runs are going to score, and pulling in the second is Hagan with a 2-run double as he splits the gap in left center field. So 4 RBIs in the inning for Hagan. And it's now 10-0 A's. So Moore and Riley came in to score.
Oh, they're going to call the inning.
So I guess they're going to wipe the inning. So I think that would make it 12 to nothing A's, because then, yeah, the way that works is everyone who's on base automatically scores.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is the second time I've seen an inning get wiped. And so we'll try and get confirmation for that when we return, but it's at the very least 10 to nothing A's. We go to the bottom of the first inning. Will Campagna will take the mound. We're set for the bottom of the first inning, ladies and gentlemen. And so the Colonials will take their first at bat. The A's put up 12 runs in the first inning. Eventually, the Colonials elected to wipe the inning clean. So the two base runners who were aboard at the moment, that would have been Jack Hagan and Christopher Perez, automatically score. So those 2 runs count. Frankly, no one's told us to set it back to 10 now, so I think we got it right. 12 runs on 9 hits for the A's. Will Campagna is on the mound.
A lot of work to do for the Colonials.
Today is the first time Campagna has pitched all year. He is listed as an outfielder. So he's on to get some outs and eat up some inning for the A's and preserve their pitching staff, especially now as they lead 12-0. That's a little outside 2-0. Tyler Darnell, Deshaun Thomas, Jed Downham, the first 3 scheduled hitters for the Colonials. Darnell, we saw him in the All-Star game, hitting .324, 3 RBIs, whopping 9 walks, and 2-1 the count. Nash, what do you do if you're the Colonials players right now? Anything like that's got to be demoralizing.
Yeah, it's just tough to put together good at-bats, but you kind of just have to think of it as a 0-0 game. As wild as that is. Good try over there from Bretza. Or Middleton, I believe.
Yeah, Spencer Middleton over, try and get that foul ball, and he was right by the railing to the dugout, not quite able to get it. A's were very generous in vacating that area to avoid a collision. So 2-2 the count. And Nash, you have to assume now, Colonials need to probably try and preserve their pitching staff. Because unless some miracle happens, they're going to be playing in that play-in game. They came into today as the 12th seed, the only team occupying the spot as the 12th seed. Just a half game in front of the Haymakers and trailing the North Stars, Coyotes, and Bootleggers each by a full game. So they would have needed to win and at least one of those teams to lose and hope for a tiebreaker to have avoided the play-in game. So that's going to be what they're doing on Wednesday. And their opponent will be the Haymakers.
I was talking to a coach last night who told me there's a little bit of strategy in that play-in game. Maybe you don't throw your ace, your best pitcher in that game. You save him.
Ball for the Darnell, so Colonials get a leadoff base runner.
You save your ace in case you try to get past that game, win that game, and then you have your best pitcher to face the 1 seed in game 2. So there's definitely some strategy.
Well, wouldn't they face the 4 seed? Because the top 3 seeds all get a bye.
Right, or yes, face the 4 seed.
Still the same idea for the most part.
And that's how a team can make a run.
As that ball gets away, going to second is Darnell on the wild pitch.
Darnell had a legendary at-bat last night against Carson Phillips.
Yes,
just
all
battled
those
his
foul balls.
tail off, yep.
Sean Thomas hitting .257, a double, a triple, a couple RBIs.
Seeing Deshaun play for the Power a little bit in center field. He's made some nice catches out there.
Will Compagnon making his debut on the mounds. That's low 2-0. A's lead 12-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. 12 runs on 9 hits. Compagnon, a usual position player on the mound. A's trying to preserve their pitching staff. Not many opportunities for rest. He had the All-Star game yesterday. Obviously, no pitchers overworked. There goes Darnell. He steals third base standing up. So I assume they'll have the full day off tomorrow. And then play on Thursday?
You would think, because I was just going to say, it's a disadvantage to play today. And then have to play again tomorrow.
Yep. That first round bye is even bigger for the A's, Blue Sox, and Lumberjacks. That ball's hit out to right field. Irwin's got a beat on it. He makes the catch, tagging his Darnell. The throw of the plate's going to be cut off. So the Colonials on the board. Sacrifice fly for Deshaun Thomas. And 1 out here in the bottom of the first inning. That's all the A's and Will Compagnon want. Just get outs. Try not to get lit up too much. So with 1 out, that'll bring in Jed Downham, the catcher. Downham, another guy we saw last night in the All-Star game. Downham's been terrific all season, frankly.
He has. He's been their spark plug.
Downham hitting .242. The double, a home run, 5 RBIs. He bats with nobody on base and 1 out. That ball's hit. It's going to get... Ooh, diving stop Perez. Throw from his knees. And dug out by Billy Ham. Out is the call.
Oh,
wow, what a play.
Wow.
I thought that ball was surely going through the hole. Perez had other ideas with a full layout.
You got a weird little hop off the grass. Perez, perfect dive right into his glove. And he gets up and makes the play. That's a great play.
2 outs right here, and that'll bring up Levi Hall. Another guy we saw in the All-Star game hitting .393, 2 doubles, a triple, 7 RBIs. So that with 2 outs and nobody on. Looks like somebody else going to warm up in the A's bullpen. Nash, what are the odds that that's an actual pitcher warming up in the A's bullpen?
Maybe not super high.
That's Skull.
Oh, it is Skull.
Well, he is listed as a pitcher. He's pitched once this season. And it doesn't say how many innings he went. So I wonder if that means he... I don't know. Skull played shortstop last night. And a 2-0 count to Levi Hall. Braxton Riley, Sebastian Moore, Jackson Irwin, left, center, and right for the A's. Spencer Middleton, Jack Mullen, Christopher Perez, Billy Ham. Around the horn from third to first. Jack Hagan behind the plate, and of course, Will Compagnon on the mound. That's it out of play, left side 2-1. Championship game for the PSCL will be Friday night. I think it's a 7 o'clock start time. Pacific Standard, of course. And then departure day is Saturday. Everyone goes home. And then we'll have just 1 week after that, Nash, for the conclusion of the Power season. You can find that on the PS Power YouTube channel.
It's pretty wild. Season's flown along. We knew the PSCL would be kind of a flash, 4 quick weeks every day.
Whoa, that ball's ripped up the middle. Right past the head of Campagna. Levi Hall's on with a 2-out hit.
A shot by Levi going back up the middle.
First hit of the day for the Colonials. Man, that ball was smoked.
Really was. We've seen some hard hit balls. These guys got up and they're ready to hit. Must have been putting some work in at the cage early this morning.
So that'll bring up Sean Garcia, the third baseman today for the Colonials.
Sean was on the All-Star roster last night, Evan.
There were a lot of guys on the All-Star roster.
I don't believe he made it into the game.
I think he did too. Garcia hitting .321, 7 RBIs, no extra base hits. Garcia has not struck out this season. That's impressive. A pitch out, there goes Hall, and the throw down's nowhere near in time, goes into center field. So stolen base for Hall, puts a man in scoring position now with 2 outs. Nash, did you mess up the scoreboard by accident?
I'm on the wrong inning. There we go.
That's more like
I've only been doing it for a month.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Nash, we were both here last night. We can cut ourselves some slack. That was Hall's 3rd stolen base of the season. He has not been caught. Colonials not a team that runs that much. 2-2 the count. Towards the bottom of the league in stolen bases. Two and two to Garcia. Beautiful early July morning here in the desert. There goes Hall to third. That ball's hit hard in the left field. That'll drop in there for a hit. Rounding third is Garcia. The throw is going to be cut off. Hall got kind of spun all over the place at third base, back wondering where the ball was, but he scores nonetheless. So RBI hit for Garcia, back-to-back hits for the Colonials, and they put a couple runs on the board. It's now 12-2 A's. So I'll bring up Sean Boscovich, the first baseman. He'll bat with Garcia over at first base. Wonder with the position player on the mound, Colonials look to be aggressive. Garcia does not go. The first pitch is high. And Nash is still fiddling with the scoreboard.
Working on it.
What's wrong with it? It looks okay from my point of view.
There we go.
Oh, that mattered. 1-1 the count. Boscovich hitting .194, 1 double, 5 RBIs.
The man they call Bosco. He's played a lot of first base.
I think you like that nickname,
for
Nash.
the Colonials. I do. I like it.
It's a solid nickname. He's running on the pitch is Garcia. That ball's
That's
popped
trouble.
up shallow right. Ham going back, and that'll drop in fair. That ball gets away for a moment, so rounding third is Garcia. He'll come around and score all the way from first as he was running on the pitch. See how that score. It's going to be a base hit. It's got to be a base hit for Boscovich. That ball just
Absolutely.
blooped in there. Not sure if Ham will give him an RBI or not. So 3 straight hits for the Colonials have plated 3 runs. Very interesting and bizarre first inning. So I'll bring up Stephen Leo. So he takes outside ball 1. Leo hitting a $120. No extra base hits so far. 4 walks, 3 hits. Opportunity right here. He's batting 7th in the order. He takes little low 2-0. Action has ceased in the bullpen for the A's. They had the usual shortstop Caleb Skull up for a moment. Short lead at first from Boscovich. That ball's in the dirt 3-0. I assume we'll see a take sign put on here, Nash.
You would think so. Yep. You're down 12-3.
Yeah, how about that crowd last night, though, for the All-Star game?
Electric. Electric was a good word for it. The
Yep.
fireworks show was unreal, especially the finale.
It looked like a $30,000 fireworks show, and it was. Leo draws a 4-pitch walk. So Boscovich up to second. First and second for the Colonials with 2 outs.
Good battle here from the Colonials to answer back in the bottom of the first.
I assume trying to get some momentum is definitely important for them, especially as they go into that play-in game. Trying to salvage some positive things from this, whether you're a hitter or whoever comes on later to pitch. So that brings up Alex Morales. Hitting 190, no extra base hits, 1 RBI. Chance for a second RBI as he takes up and away 1-0. Morales, the 8th man to bat in this inning. 15 combined runs here in the first. A's put up 12 in their half on 11 hits. They were just smacking the ball and hitting rockets all over the place. Colonials have answered back with 3 of their own on 3 hits. So that's upstairs 2-0.
Couple of walks in the inning as well. In a 2-out rally.
Frankly, if you're Don Bray and the A's, you expect Campani to get hit around a little bit. Position player on the mound, he's just guiding the ball over the plate, trying to throw strikes, save the pitchers.
Sometimes that change of pace can stymie an offense, but credit to the Colonials for battling even with 2 outs here.
Yeah, and they haven't quit, they haven't laid down by any means. That's down the way 3-1. It's good to see from them. They all pay to be out here. Take advantage of. You don't want to give away at bats, obviously. Take advantage of whatever you can get.
Yeah, maybe less focused on the score and more focused on their own development.
Here's a 3-1. That's hit foul. The plate 3-2. So the runners will be off here. Boscovich on second, Leo on first.
I think the question I would ask as a coach at the end of this season in the PSCL, I'd say, do you feel like you got enough at-bats? Do you feel like you got enough innings? And that would be my most important question for these
sure.
guys.
Did you learn something? Did you get better? The runners go. The pitch is upstairs, ball 4. So they'll load the bases with 2 outs. So Nash, I know our time is unofficial. So far we're about to hit the 43-minute mark here in the first inning. This is something.
Yeah, I think they're going off the 9 a.m. start, so it'll be close to an hour, first inning.
So Manuel Lopez, the 9th man to bat in the inning for the Colonials. He's hitting 269, no extra base hits, a couple RBIs. Do we have a pitching change, Snatch? Yes, we do have a pitching change. Caleb Skoll, the new pitcher. We'll step aside for a moment. We'll be back as he finishes up his warm-up pitches. We're back, ladies and gentlemen. Evan Schmeiser joined by Nash Walker. Caleb Skoll, the new pitcher for the A's. He was warming up in the bullpen a little while ago. He's pitched once this season. We saw him in the All-Star game play shortstop. He has a good arm as he delivers a ball down low to Lopez. Numbers look weird. He did not allow a run, Skull did, in his only pitching appearance. That came on the 26th of June against the Chill. Zappa's on the ground, backhanded by Mullen, throw across the diamond, and dug out by Billy Ham. So that retires the side. Just a couple pitches from Caleb Skull. He gets Lopez to ground out. So the Colonials answer back with 3 runs of their own in the first inning on 3 hits. Take advantage of 3 walks. They leave the bases loaded. We go to the top of the second. A's lead 12-3. We're set to go for the top of the first inning. The A's will send Jack Mullen, Caleb Skull, and Spencer Middleton to the plate. They lead 12-3. Alex Morales, the new pitcher for the Colonials. First pitch swinging, that ball is laced in the right center field by Mullen. Cut off by Leo, and taking a turn to second, Mullen will be safe. So a hustle double from Jack Mullen. He jumps around the first pitch from Alex Morales. So the Colonials send a position player to the mound. Morales has not pitched this year. He's listed as a catcher.
Now we're on pace for the least amount of innings in a PSCL game this year, Evan.
Yep.
I think the least amount I've seen, I think every game I've called has gone into the 5th, at least into the 5th.
Yes, I think that's been the same with me. Or at the very least the 4th, if I'm not remembering something right.
We have position players pitching.
The clock on our webcast, we have a clock. It was about to hit 46 minutes when the first inning concluded. And if we didn't have the rule, Nash, about wiping the base runners, this would have been longer.
Yep.
Just bizarre. So 2-0 the count to Skull. Caleb Skull doubled in a run his first time up.
10 hits today for the A's already. Hitting's contagious. Morales gets in there. 3-1. 10 hits, a lot of them hard hit.
There's a 3-1 from Morales. That's way outside going to the backstop. Mullen will not go to third on that wild pitch. Skull will take ball 4. I appreciate the respect and courtesy. Some people are of the mindset of just keep beating a team down. I'm not as much about that. I don't want to embarrass anyone or anything like that. So I'll bring up Middleton. Middleton takes strike 1. Spencer walked his only plate appearance. Oh, Nash, I'm a fool. So, of course, I had to go into the second inning, of course, as the A's batted around. I started in the third inning.
You need your good old arrow down.
I know, that's what I needed. That ball's hitting the left center field. That'll drop in there for a base hit. And rounding third is Mullen. He is going to come across to score. So an RBI single for Middleton. Stopping at second is Skull. It's now 13-3 A's.
So how about that Navajo trip?
Now, Nash, we'll get to that in a moment. That ball came off the bat at 81 miles per hour for Spencer Middleton. Well, you know, Nash, both of us did have some impressive road trips to get out here. What, you started in Missouri.
Mm-hmm.
You passed through, was it Kansas, Colorado?
Yep, Kansas, we went down. We went through Arizona. We went through Albuquerque.
Oh yeah, you did Albuquerque, that's right. Nash, I was like ready for that foul ball for a moment, but it just hit the top of the screen. Ben Bryan, the batter, he walked his only plate appearance. Wait, so you got to California, so you came in through Southern California, so you would have hit Arizona too.
Yes.
Go behind the runner, not in time. And so you hit Phoenix. Did you hit Tucson?
We may have.
Tucson's very far south.
Oh, then probably
close to
not.
the Mexican border.
Probably not Tucson.
Did you pass through any tribal lands? Arizona has a lot of them. Like, we don't really have tribal lands on the East Coast, so it was cool to see.
Might have been catching some Z's in the front seat.
Oh yeah, you weren't driving.
We're not driving. No.
I was driving the whole way on my trip. So anyway, Nash, you brought up the Navajo tribe. So, my road trip, I started in San Antonio, passed through New Mexico. That ball's fouled straight back. I hit this really beautiful part of New Mexico. It's the Mescalero Apache tribe, I want to say. There's several Apaches, that's one of them. And it's a beautiful resort area. Like, I stayed at this resort for a few days in this man-made lake, beautiful golf course, and the town right next to it, they have tons of horse racing going on for the summer. So I was there kind of before their busy season. And I went for a run the first time I got there. Now mind you, it was also above 7,000 feet of elevation. So I was just huffing and puffing. I saw elk for the first time, Nash, and wild horses. It was like straight out of a movie. As Brian goes down swinging, there's one out. You ever seen elk, Nash, and wild horses?
I've seen elk. Haven't seen wild horses.
Have you seen domesticated horses?
No.
Oh my goodness.
Well, domesticated horses, yes.
Oh, okay.
Wild horses, no.
Yeah, those wild horses were majestic. Now, frankly, when I was running past them, I was nervous that they would get spooked and run after me. I know the old idea, like, don't walk behind a horse. But fortunately, maybe the horses were a little more scared of me than I was of them, so that was helpful. I didn't have to deviate from my running path. Everything was up in a mountain. Then after that, I visited a good friend of mine in Mesa, Arizona, just outside of Phoenix. That was an old college teammate of mine. And that was cool itself. Then I went north. Let me tell you, Arizona might be one of the most beautiful, that's the most beautiful state I've seen. And I grew up on the ocean. And I went north, going through a bunch of mountains. I took the scenic route instead of like the interstates. 3-0 the count to Irwin. And then I hit, what was the town? Flagstaff. I like Flagstaff, but I decided to go on another hour and a half northeast as Irwin draws a 4-pitch walk. It'll load the bases with 1 out for the A's. 13-3, A's are score in the top of the second. I said, you know what, the Navajo tribe is right here. That'd be so cool to just stay a night in there. Looks as we're going to have a meeting on the mound. We're going to have a pitching change. That'll be it for Morales. We're going to have several bits of moving around. We'll be back in a moment, and I'll tell you a little bit about my road trip. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. So here's where we stand in the top of the second inning. The bases are loaded for the A's. They lead 13-3. A's put up 12 runs in their half of the first. The Colonials put up 3 runs in their half of the first. The new pitcher will be Tyler Darnell. He has not pitched this year. Started the game at shortstop. Colonials trying to preserve some pitching as they're going to get ready for the playing game. And he hits Sebastian Moore on his first pitch. So it'll force in a run. It's now 14-3. So let me see if I have all these position changes right. Caleb Skull crosses the plate. So Tyler Darnell's the new pitcher. Alex Morales moved over to third. Cooper Browning moved from second to short. And Sean Garcia moved from third to second. I think that about covers it. So where did I leave off, Nash? I got in. Did I leave off to the part where I was just entering the Navajo tribe?
Yes.
All right. That pitch gets away. The runners won't advance. Top of the order, Braxton Riley, the hitter. And so there was no cell phone service. So if something were to happen for any reason, Nash, trying to call somebody would have been an adventure. I was even on the phone with one of my other buddies, and he kept cutting in and out. The scenery was beautiful. It felt like I was on the road getting in there after leaving Flagstaff. It felt like you were just going through, I don't even want to say the wilderness, because it wasn't like there was a ton of wildlife out there. It wasn't crazy hot, because there were still over 6,000 feet of elevation. Everything just kind of looked red and orange, whether it's the sand or the canyons, the rocks. Like picture perfect scenery, almost like the land was sculpted. Eventually I settled into this town. and it was close to dusk, relatively close, about 6 o'clock in the evening. And there were 3 hotels in the area, and Nash, the first hotel I got to, they said, we're completely full, and the other hotels are full too. And Nash, the problem would have been, the closest town was about 80 minutes north. And at that point, you're getting close to the Utah border. And there's no street lights out here. And I don't know the roads, obviously. And I'm also tired, and I was very sunburnt. So that pitch up's called a strike. Check on the count real quick. And it looks like that will be strike 3 to Braxton Riley, so 2 outs. Get all that sorted out. It'll be Christopher Perez the batter, 2 outs, the bases loaded. And so, Nash, of course, they go, well, I'm going to check out the other hotels, because I don't really want to drive 80 more minutes. Like, I had enough gas, I was able to fill up there, like, entering the reservation. But it, there's a lot of driving for one day. So I go to this next hotel, and thank God, they had 2 open rooms available. Here's another hilarious thing coming up, Nash. So, Arizona doesn't do daylight savings time. So, normally they'd be in the mountain time. They'd be on mountain time. So, like 1 hour behind. No, 1 hour ahead of California. Yeah, 1 hour ahead. So, but since they don't do daylight savings, they're on the same time as California. The Navajo Indian tribe, though, does do daylight savings time, but this one town that was in kind of towards the edge, it's almost like this subsection with, I don't know if you call it a province or what, but they have slightly different rules. So basically the way it turned out was, if I crossed the street, I gained an hour, but then if I stayed on the side where the hotel was, I was still on the regular Arizona time, per se. But since the majority of the town lives across the street, all my technology changed over. The clock in the room was an hour ahead of basically the time that I was trying to stay on. So trying to set my alarm with all my technologies to get up at a reasonable time was just such a mess to try to think about. There's just too much thinking for one man.
Wow. That is quite a tale.
And of course, I wanted to get up the next morning. Zeppel's hitting the right field, will drop in there for a hit. So another run will score. It's now 15-3. Crossing the plate is Middleton. RBI hit for Perez, his second hit of the game. The guy at the front desk at the hotel, Nash, he gave me this really, really great advice. Because I told him I was a runner. I was making a little small talk. And I ran cross-country track in college. I'm still staying competitive, so I wanted to get in my mileage. And he told me this really great place to go run, about 5 miles kind of outside the town. There's this place where you can kind of pull off the road and park. And there's like this trail. And we're basically going up the canyon. And it's a convenient trail for the most part. Like, it loops back around to the parking lot eventually. It took me 5-6 miles, which is exactly what I would have wanted. It took me a little bit to find it. I passed it one time, and it's kind of an adventure to try to turn around because the shoulders aren't that big, but we made it happen. So I find it eventually, and like I'm just running up this canyon, like this smooth, rocky canyon with little bits of sand, and then I climb the thing about 200 feet up. The angle, it might have been at like some crazy angle. I'm almost like using my hands to climb it at certain points, about 200 feet up, and we were still 6,000 feet of elevation, so I was just really, really tired, but it was one of the most fun things I've ever done. So I get to the top, and it's just the coolest thing, looking out into the distance, seeing the canyons and the mountains and all the smooth carvings of the desert, or kind of the rocky desert per se. So that goes to the backstop, 1-2, the count, runners don't advance. But here's the problem, Nash. I got lost up there.
Yeah, I was going to say, I would probably get lost.
I got a little bit lost. Because because apparently there are two different trails you could take. There's one where, like kind of a wider one, where it takes you back to the town itself. But that wouldn't have been good for me, because then I would have been 5 miles away from my car in the parking lot. And I couldn't really find the other path. And I didn't really want to take a chance by kind of guessing and going through the big one, because then I wasn't looking to run 15 miles that day. Like the most, because like I'm already running on hills and in altitude, I was very sore. And throw in the driving too, and I'm in a drier climate that I'm used to. The 3-2 pitch, hit pretty well on the right field line, but foul. So the count is still full. And there's nobody up there either. The wind is starting to pick up, getting about 30-mile-per-hour gusts. I'm still doing okay, but it's very dry, so I can feel like, okay, I don't want to be up for much longer, because then dehydration might start to become a little bit of a factor. But then Ash, it's like the Red Sea parted. All of a sudden, I could see another path, and I start to go down that path after basically running about 3 extra miles, just kind of coasting around, not knowing where to go. And it looks like we're going to wipe the inning clean. Ball 4 is taken outside by Billy Ham. So that forced in a run. So it looks like 3 more runs will technically score as we wipe the inning clean. So the 19-3s, we go to the bottom of the 2nd inning. And we got some more good stuff to talk about. So to the bottom of the 2nd we go. 19-3 A's is our score. It'll be Cooper Browning, Tyler Darnell, Deshaun Thomas, the first 3 scheduled hitters for the Colonials. Cooper Browning, the 10th man in the order. He did not bat in the 1st inning, seeing 226 this season, a couple doubles, 3 RBIs. Caleb Skull back out for his 2nd inning of work as he delivers strike 1 to Browning. So let's see, where was I, Nash? I found the right path. I eventually made it back to my car. It was the ultimate relief. A 5-mile run turned into a 9-mile run. Like, I'm used to running 9 miles at times, but I was just resting. That ball's up the middle. Bulling up with it. Pretty good play, and save's going to be a call at first base. They're going to say that Billy Ham was pulled off the bag. Really good effort there from Molino on the ball up the middle.
Hit error, what do you think?
Well, I think it automatically has to be an error because the throw is wide. A tough error. For all we know, Hammer might overrule us. He does have the final say. So to the top of the order we go with Darnell. So I found the right path. And I tell you what, I had some really good Native American beef afterwards and some kind of authentic pancake at this local diner. And that's a good thing I finished when I did too, because the winds got up to 50 miles per hour that day, and I love that sand getting blown all over the place at me if I just still couldn't find the way to go. As that ball skied out to center field, making the catch just more. So 1 out here in the second inning. That brings up Deshaun Thomas. Let's see, so my driving that day went from northeast Arizona to northwest Arizona. Stayed in some more tribal lands. I went on Route 66. Apparently that's a really famous kind of route in Arizona. Like, people actually legit they take pictures on that. It seemed like a cool road, I don't know. And I settled in for a night on a reserve in northwest Arizona. I didn't get the best sleep that night. I was in a decent enough hotel, but we had a train going all night behind us. So every hour was just noise. And I did not run that next morning. I was in desperate need of a day off. And I went for a little bit of like an off-roading adventure. Kind of going along these canyons. I got close to the Colorado River, so you could see it from the distance. It was immaculate, Nash. And I was once again no selflessness. That's it on the ground, soft for the third. Nice play from Middleton. He throws on the run to get Thomas. Might have broken his bat on the play. Really good play from Middleton.
Quick outs here. We haven't seen that at all today.
Yeah, Skull's a good arm on the mound. We've seen that several times in playing shortstop. Oh, I almost missed that same day. That's when I saw the Grand Canyon Nash. I drove along. It was the southern loop. As beautiful as the Grand Canyon was, Nash, it only confirmed my fear of heights. You know, it's like you have to go out and get a good look at it, but you're also still like, oh, this is high. And they can't... Seeing it in a screen, it does not replicate the amazing feeling of seeing such a sight like that. Whether it's the rocks or just the distance, the air. I got back to 7,500 feet of altitude. It was really windy that day, all sorts of tourists. From all over the place, too. I was hearing all sorts of different languages. And the weather was good too. Besides, the wind was only in the 70s. Like, I had to put a long sleeve shirt on. So that ball's hit back towards the middle. Perez didn't pass a diving Perez for a base hit. So Browning comes across to score. It's going to be an RBI base hit for Downham. Great effort from Perez at second base. I thought he got that ball for a moment. Then I saw it trickling into center field.
19-4. Couple of touchdowns and 2-point conversion.
Yes,
and they'll be tied up.
I mean, you got to give credit to the Colonials. Obviously, they're still hitting the ball. They're getting good swings. Seeing good plays in the field from both teams. Like, we're seeing the effort. Yeah, so Grand Canyon, as expected, a little more standard, but amazing. And then hit Death Valley. That ball's hit hard in the right field. It's going to drop in for another hit. First to third goes down. The throw to third is going to be cut off. So Levi Hall with his second hit of the game. First to third goes down him. Puts him on first and third with 2 outs for the Colonials. So they trailed 19-4. Oh, I passed through Nevada. Nash after that. Like, eventually going through Vegas. I didn't stop in Vegas. I kept going right through. Even though we weren't on a mountain, it felt like you were driving through a mountain. Like, with all the rocks and canyons, these look more like it wasn't volcanoes out there, but the rocks look more like volcanoes, like the ones you'd see in movies. So that ball's hit hard, caught by the first baseman Billy Ham. That'll retire the side. So the Colonials put a run across the board on a couple base hits. We'll go to the top of the third inning. A's lead 19-4. We're set for the top of the third inning. I'm Evan Schmeiser, joined by Nash Walker. A's will take their third set of at-bats as they lead 19-4. Sean Garcia, Boscovich, and Leo.
It'll be Carter Fagan to the mound. And he's a brother of one of our staff members, Riley, who's got the radar gun down there watching his brother.
Oh, yes, absolutely. Excuse me, Jack Hagan actually the schedule here. I have my book flipped over. So Hagan, Mullen, and Skull, the scheduled hitters. Hagan had singled in a couple runs in the first, doubled in a couple of runs in the second. Where was I, Nash?
Grand Canyon.
Oh yes, the Grand Canyon. Well, it was amazing. You can't say it enough. Oh, I was on Nevada. The rocks seemed like almost volcanic rocks, even though there's obviously no volcanoes in Nevada. At least not that I'm aware of. And passed through Vegas. I eventually settled in right on the border of Nevada and California by this town called Death Valley Junction. Only 2 people live in the town, and there's this really old, I don't know what you call it, this old theater where they used to have shows. That ball's on the ground at second base. Garcia up with it in time over the first one out. Like back in the 40s, around that time, this lady and her husband moved in there. They came from New York, and she absolutely loved the theater. She was inspired by all the Broadway and theater show stuff in New York City. And so she used the space and started one up, and she really made it her own. I took pictures of it, and it's just amazing. And there are all sorts of art, like animals, making people in the audience, and they did shows there for decades. They don't do shows there anymore. Even before that, they would basically have kind of industrial or explorer kind of people. I'm definitely not getting the precise names right of these people, but who would stay there, who would do like Western exploration kind of stuff. And now it's just a tourist location, essentially. Just with a lot of history. That's up the middle for a base hit. Jack Mullen aboard, his third hit of the game. One out base runner for the A's. So I got a tour of that. And then my final day on the road, drove through Death Valley. Nash, you couldn't have picked a more perfect day to do it. We know it gets hot in Death Valley, but like on the higher up parts of it, it was in the mid 70s, and the highest or the hottest it got in there was the low 80s. Can't ask for a more perfect day to do that than in May. And there's a lot of land in California, Nash. Like coming down on the main highways, that ball's towards on the left side. It's going to go under the glove of Morales for a base hit. Back-to-back singles for the ace puts men on first and second with 1 out. So that basically ends a beautiful 8-day-long, life-changing road trip. So it's a lot of perspective, especially from a guy who grew up in Jersey and has lived in New York, because, you know, used to being around a lot of houses and kind of tall buildings and hustle bustle. All right. 0-1 the count to Middleton. Walked in the first, singled in the third. Is that kind of how your road trip was, Nash?
I'm sorry, I missed all that. Can you do it again? Similar. No, it's good. It's nice.
You did it with family, and they're wonderful people.
Thank you. It is beautiful out here, and it's been fun doing all these games. This is one of the more non-competitive games we've had.
That ball's hit out to center field over as Thomas. He's got a beat on, puts away for the second out. Tagging, no, Mullen's going to draw the throw. Would have been surprised to see him tag right there. There's 2 outs, still men on first and second.
There's been a lot of parity in the PSCL. I know some teams at the top, there's teams at the bottom, but
yes,
you know, anybody can beat anybody. We saw the other day.
What was it, the North Stars who just took the Lumberjacks to school?
Yep. That's baseball.
Yeah, it was shocking to see. Ball's hit through the hole on the right side for a base hit by Ben Bryant. Rounding third is Mullen. He's going to cross the plate and score.
Run number 20, Evan.
Oh, the A's came out swinging today.
That's going to be it.
And it looks like we're going to roll the inning right here. They say do not count the runs that are on base. So we'll go to the bottom of the third inning. 20-4 is our score. The Colonials will come up to bat. We're set for the bottom of the third inning, ladies and gentlemen. Sean Boscovich, Stefan Leo, Alex Morales, the first 3 scheduled hitters. Caleb Skull back out for his third inning of work. He came on with 2 outs in the first inning. He delivers strike 1. Boscovich singled his only at bat in the first inning. Did I miss any states? So Nash, you started in Missouri,
Kansas,
Colorado.
not Colorado.
Oh, not Colorado.
South, we went, I want to say we went through Oklahoma.
The Panhandle
The
part,
handle,
or the more?
yep,
Oh,
the
okay,
handle of
interesting.
Oklahoma. And then New Mexico, Arizona,
Yeah, you said Albuquerque.
yep, Palm Springs, California.
So wait, so you would have gotten in. That ball's chopped foul. So you would have gotten in northern Arizona.
Yeah,
What
I was
did-
going to look and see.
Yeah, I'm curious. What did the part of Arizona look like that you were driving through?
My sister lives in Phoenix, so we stopped there.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. Oh, so you probably had us. It probably looked a little similar from what I saw. Some parts might have been, you would have seen cacti and slightly more kind of typical desert parts. Maybe other parts you see more like red desert parts with the canyons.
Yep.
I almost hit hard out to center field, and it's going to be right at Sebastian Moore. Oh, wait, oh, wait. Or did he catch that? Ball at the ground. The umpire, home plate was going to stay on the transfer. So Sebastian Moore does put it away. Hard hit ball from Sean Boscovich, but the first out nonetheless.
You look at the map, you realize we really are. This is Southern California, man.
Yeah, like we're not that far away from the Mexican border. I'm trying to remember where I was. Like, I wasn't driving ridiculously close to the Mexican border at all. As Leo takes up an in ball one. But at some point, I think I might have been in California or Nevada. I can't remember which state it was. Frank, I might have to call my grandmother. She has great memories when I tell her stuff like this. But I passed through like basically a borders and customs checkpoint on like one of those main interstates. I know I'm not describing this well. I can't remember the interstate. It might have been 10. That's like one of the main ones that goes kind of along the southern part of the United States. That one goes from Florida all the way to California and through Texas too. And I mean, they just waved me right through. I was wondering if they'd stop me not because of the jersey tags on my car. I go a long way from home, young man. So that's it, foul 1 and 2. But like, I've never, obviously growing up in the Northeast, Nash, I've never seen anything like that. And of course, you're not along the border, so you wouldn't expect it. But all of a sudden, but then I see some of the signs and go, oh, that was interesting. Swing and a miss right there. Leo goes down swinging. There's 2 outs. Caleb Scull's done a really nice job coming in relief.
Yeah, he has. Throwing strikes.
He's got a good arm getting quick outs. We have action in the A's bullpen. Obviously, you don't want your shortstop to throw too many pitches. Brings up Alex Morales. He walked his only plate appearance in the first, so there's now 2 outs in the inning. I assume you went just directly west from Phoenix. That ball, broken bat possibly, soft line drive caught by Perez. 1, 2, 3, go the Colonials. That'll retire the side here in the 3rd inning. I wonder. And it looks like, are we gonna play the 4th?
Yep,
Yes,
Downham's going to come pitch.
Yep, looks like we are gonna play the 4th, and we'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the top of the 4th inning. We go. Brant Cook, the scheduled hitter.
Against Jed Downham.
Yeah, Jed Downham usually catches. So we'll get a little bit of work right here. We're definitely going to hit the 2-hour time limit at some point, a little under 30 minutes. Probably maybe 1-2 more full innings to play. Brant Cook, he came on as a pinch runner earlier. He stole his league-leading 19th base of the season. Boy, he's just dominated in that category, Nash.
It's been fun to watch him just fly around all summer.
I mean, plenty of base stealing all around in the PSCL. The A's manager, Don Bray, he mentioned as that ball's fished out to shortstop. He's going to have to play it on a hop. No play for Browning at first.
Hit?
I'd rule it a hit. I don't think he would have gotten Cook the way he runs.
I don't know. You're up 20-4. Is Cook going to take off here? Try to get, would that be stolen base number 20? I believe that would be 20.
I think the postseason numbers still would roll over with the regular season, so I don't know if he has to worry about that. There's no way he gets the steal sign.
I have 1 steal on my book today, Evan, for the A's. And they have 20 runs. They haven't really needed to steal because they just keep hitting.
Most of the season, that's been the way they get their runs. Get guys on base. They've drawn a ton of walks all season, too. And, yeah, steal bases manufacture runs. I mean, just hitting the ball over the place in that first inning. And missiles, too, on decent pitches. On the outside corner, 0-2 to Sebastian Moore. Moore reached on a fielder's choice in the first and drove in a run, and he was hit by a pitch in the third. 17 hits on the day for the A's. That ball's popped up. Morales is a beat on it. That ball's going to drop out of his glove. He'll get the force at second base. Not sure if that was dropped on purpose. I mean, makes things easier to not have a fast runner like Cook out on the bases. So the fielder's choice for Moore, 5-4 on the putout at second base. To the top of the order we go. It brings up Braxton Riley. So Riley, triple in the first, RBI hit in the second, struck out in the third. So now, on your road trip back, are you flying or driving back home?
Probably going to drive back home.
Okay. Do you think you'll take any kind of a different route, try to see different states?
Maybe. I'm probably not as scenic as you are. It sounds like you really like to look out the window and take it all in.
I do. I wouldn't even call myself an outdoorsy kind of guy. But when you have all that stuff right there, you might as well.
One more run, and that'll be 100 on the season scored by the A's. They would be the 3rd team to reach 100 behind the Lumberjacks and the Blue Sox.
On a day like this, they'll definitely climb the ranks in total runs scored. So that's taken upstairs 3-1.
It's a stat padding day in the PSCL.
That it is at the moment. 20 runs on 17 hits for the A's. A respectable day offensively for the Colonials. 4 runs on 5 hits so far. So we've gone through 3 full innings. Here's the thing, Nash. Depending on what the next job is when we're all done here, maybe a chance to see some new states.
True.
That ball's out to left center field. Thomas comes in, over to his right. He puts it away for the second out. So Riley flies out for the second out of the inning. Oh, Nash, I see why I got momentarily confused on what inning it was for a moment. Because at one point, with the way the A's are batting around, I just kind of kept sliding over as if they weren't batting around at the end of each inning. It can make things terribly confusing.
And Xander Bretz is going to hit now.
Might as well get the guys their bats. We saw Breskin in the All-Star game, and he gets hit by looked like a breaking ball there from Downham. So Xander Brett's bats in Christopher Perez's spot. He'll take his base on the hit batter. Up to second goes Moore. Looks like the A's are going to roll their half of the fourth right here. So we'll be back in a moment. To the bottom of the fourth inning we go. Colonials will take their next set of at-bats. We're set for the bottom of the fourth inning, ladies and gentlemen. Lopez, Browning, and Darnell, the scheduled hitters. And a new pitcher for the A's, it'll be Billy Ham. We saw him in the All-Star game playing first base. He has pitched his handful of times this season. Pretty respectable pitcher. He's gone. Yeah, he's like a real pitcher for them. 15 innings, 4.20 ERA.
Real pitcher meaning he's pitched before.
He struck out 19 guys. Yes, yes. Like he is not. He is actually a guy who pitches in college, and he is listed as a pitcher. How about that? At first, I was just like, I look at the report, I would be like, oh, okay, that's this, but oh, he's been one of the main pitchers all year. A lot of innings. Ground out to first base, and a quick 1 out. That'll bring up Browning. Browning reached on an error his only time up.
They're mixing things around. Looks like Lopez is hitting in that spot now. I don't know what's going on. Could have
sworn I had my book right.
Yeah, I had the same, so.
Well, that one's back to Ham. And he'll flip on over to first for a quick second out. Well, either way, whether it's Lopez, regardless of where Lopez or Browning were hitting, it was a quick 2 outs. 1-3 on the putout right there. Nash, I have the top of the order up.
As do I.
Okay, so Darnell's the scheduled hitter.
Yeah, it will not be him.
That's not Darnell.
Let's see.
Jesus Barreto will be the batter.
Yep.
Oh,
pitcher.
So we got a pitcher hitting. He looks aggressive and ready. Whoa! That first pitch behind him. I think they're just having some fun. I think. I don't think that was on purpose. Or it might have been. Maybe it was intentional, but just having some fun. Not obviously nowhere close to hitting him. Pitch was way behind him. That 1-0 breaking ball. Going around on the pitch is Barreto. He has not had an at-bat this season. 3.52 ERA in 15 innings. One of the main pitchers for the Colonials. Here's the 1-1 from Ham. Another breaking ball. And a late strike call, 1-2. Barretto's like, are you kidding me, man? I need all the help I can get. I don't hit. Swinging the bat like Gary Sheffield when he waves it. Ooh, good looking swing. That ball has an exit velocity as he hit it foul.
Jesus Barreto on the All-Star team last night. As a pitcher, of course.
1-2 the count to Barretto. Fastball, woo! Hit that one hard foul.
He's late, but he's making contact.
It's all about getting that foot down, Nash. He's got the top hand working, though. Honestly, he waves his bat. Remember Gary Sheffield? We call him at the end of his career. He used to wave the bat around all sorts of ways he's setting up. He comes to a stop, he's ready to hit. Breaking ball inside, 2-2. Pretty good at bat from Barretto. Getting his first, and who knows, maybe his only at bat of the season here in the PSCL. 2 outs, nobody on base, the 2-2. Breaking ball, that ball's hit towards the middle, softly on a few hops. Gloved by Perez over the first, that'll retire the side in order. Now let's see, it's kind of an awkward in-between phase where you're not sure if the other team's going to take the field or not. And it looks like that is going to be it. See, the umpire's shaking hands with multiple players. The A's are shaking hands with each other out on the field. So that will be the ball game, ladies and gentlemen. We played 4 innings. The A's take it in their regular season finale 20-4 over the Colonials. Absolute dominant performance, just hitting the ball all over the place, putting up 12 runs in the first inning, and it was basically it from there.
Yep. They took control early, didn't look back, and the A's will focus on the playoffs, as will the Colonials.
So the A's moved to 13-3. They have clinched the #1 seed going into the PSCL playoffs. They're already guaranteed a first-round bye. Colonials dropped to 4-10-2. They are and they will definitely be playing in that 12-13 play-in game against the Haymakers. We'll be back in about 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have more PSCL action right here at the stadium on the same PSCL link. It'll be the Grizzly and the Snowbirds coming up next.